What is the biggest mistake made when teaching visual learners? I've been on both sides of the experience, both as a student and as a teacher. And there's a flaw in the whole system, and it's the way we approach visual learning. Studies show that 65% of all learners are visual. And my experience has been that if you teach the visual, you can get another 20%. And so you can go to 85%. But there's a visual retention problem that I've heard teachers and administrators bring up over and over again. The usual visual approach is still word-driven with a verbal script. The instructors talk and talk and talk, and they create visual images to illustrate points in the verbal script. And they think they're teaching visually. But the visuals are an adjunct rather than a central core. So the center of the usual visual approach is a verbal core. It's not visual. Now let's bring that guy down, same visual learner. Again, more studies, 1/2 to 1/3 of our brain is devoted to vision. It's an enormous amount. Let's contrast the usual visual teaching approach, the one that I've just finished, with the visual schema-driven approach I call rapid viz. And it's image-driven, where the one above was word-driven, this one is image-driven. What is needed is a visual schema or model that is built sequentially in front of the learner in a single image. Visual images can hold meaning when they are constructed in front of the students into a single coherent image. Words are subordinate or an adjunct to this visual core. With the usual visual approach, they use multiple segments or images, and the brain shifts with each new image. But with the rapid viz approach, you have a single image you're building together. Testing with this approach is written, and teachers wonder why the visual learners often fail, because after all, they taught visually. In the rapid viz approach, the test is visual, and I've had rates of 100% retention. With the usual visual approach, they teach oranges, they speak of apples, and they test for oranges. In the approach that I'm proposing, rapid viz, where the core is visual, you teach apples, test apples, and talk of apples. So there's a consistency and a congruency, and it's more effective. Teachers and business people and trainers or whatever are taught by the system, which is a verbally driven system. The one I propose is a visually driven system, and that will affect more of the population at getting fundamental ideas across than any other approach I've done, or any approach I've seen anybody do. By the way, this entire presentation is an example of the very thing I'm talking about. It's one image built in front of you. I'm Kurt Hanks, and this is a rapid visual.